Since 1873, students and alumni of color have been making history with their knowledge and expertise on the campus of Syracuse University and in the world. As undergraduates, many have been pioneers in creating student clubs, organizations, school traditions, and the development of university programs and departments. Hi, I'm Ben Green, class of 2008, advisor to the Friends of SU Alumni Group. Listen to our podcast about students and alumni making history past, present, and near. It's called FSU, Our History is Here. Syracuse University has over 300 extracurricular groups, and only one has consistently survived the performing arts genre for over 40 years. This group has conquered the success of their freshman debut and managed to grow in success in numbers, talent, and unique performances throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, and this millennium. Peace and blessings. I'm Ben G, Mr.RNB, host of FSU, Our History is Here. And now we're looking at a group from Syracuse University, a dance troupe that began in 1977. Now, as much as I would like to tell you the story, and I was a part of the group, and I'm not dancing. Now imagine me dancing with them. But not that I couldn't handle it. But imagine, if you will, a dance troupe on a predominantly white campus coming in, beginning with African dance and then growing from there. Now, I'd love to tell you how this group transformed from the Third World Dance Troupe to Creations Dance Company. But it's better if you heard it from the founders and the members. This is their history. This is their HERSTORY. You heard me right. Their HERSTORY creations.
Peace and blessings, Benji, Mr.RNB, and we're coming together to put together the story, the history. Oh, no. Did I say his story? No. Her story of the Third World Dance Troupe, who has grown and still exists as creations. But there's nothing like having the founders talk to you about how it all came together. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce my guests, Ms. Jenice View and Ms. Kathy Jordan. Ladies, welcome.
So good to be here, Ben. And as you know, this is my first time laying eyes on Kathy in 42 years, since we graduated in 1980.
Now, how was that experience?
It's been just so amazing and so heartfelt. Yes, it's a blessing.
I can't take my eyes off of you, Jenice.
Likewise. Okay, Kathy, you probably, Ben and I had this conversation earlier.
Yeah.
You're probably looking to see, I saw the photos from the dance troupe, and I was like, why didn't somebody feed that child? So I probably look a little different from what I did then.
But you still look great.
Well, likewise, dear, likewise. Yeah.
You ladies have come a long way. And we want to allow folks who knew nothing about the Third World Dance Troupe. Please tell me, you two came together on a predominantly white campus, Syracuse University. You found each other and you came up with a concept. Tell me about this.
Well, I'm sure the idea was Kathy's. And I remember us being, hey, beautiful. I remember us being in a lounge in Haven Hall.
Yes.
Probably stretching, and I don't know what we were doing. I don't know how we were sitting there and just saying, we should start you said we should start a dance troupe. And I said, yes, we should. And that's all I remember. And then it just happened.
Oh, yeah. Having that dance background, which you had, Jenice.
You had more than I did, though. Yeah.
Well, and myself, but just knowing that you had experience in African dance, just like turned me on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, a thought came in my head. I'm like, well, there's nothing here. We didn't have any kind of African dance troupes. We didn't have much culture at Syracuse at the time. And you're right. We were in a large, predominantly white university, and I would say most of the Black students kind of knew each other. Somehow we made a connection. And I think that, what I discovered was the unity came from the Greek life, basically, because I remember attending only Greek events.
Mm-hmm.
But kudos and all to the Greek life, but we needed more. And meeting you was a start. And so I think at that point, we just, when we were recruiting, we were looking for anybody who had an interest in joining, whether they could dance or not.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun with that too, because the ones who couldn't dance, I mean, they knew it, we knew it, but we worked with them.
We did. And you were our first choreographer, Kathy. You
right.
brought that wisdom and that strength with you to the table. And so you knew how to sort of put moves on people's bodies that suited their bodies, right? And so that made the difference too. It made it welcoming, I think, to everybody who was interested in being a part.
Right. Well, I did, I had many years of dance experience. Starting out with the basics, the ballet and the tap. But when I found African dance, and I mean, I loved it. It was a way to express ourselves, movement, through movement. And so there it was.
Yeah.
You know what, Kathy, Jenice was telling me, I guess it could have been your freshman year there, maybe your sophomore year. You guys had attended, speaking of Greeks, usually the biggest Greek thing were the step shows. And every spring in front of the chapel, they'd have a Greek freak.
Yeah.
She was telling me that you guys went there, and whose roommate was it?
No. So it was the step show for the Q line. Coming out our freshman year, second semester freshman year. So it was Herb and Phil. They were the only two people online, and it was in, I think, Kimmel Dining Hall.
Kimmel's, yep, that's the regular place they had them.
Yeah. And so it was my white roommate who wanted to come along to the step show, and I'd never even heard of step shows before. I'd never been to one before. So she was sitting there saying, "What's happening? What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know what's going on." And stop asking me these questions. You were with me. I think it was the three of us and maybe Diane. Remember Diane Menden?
Yeah.
Right. I think the four of us were together and watching the step show. And I was like, okay, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. And that was kind of a moment, right? Where I was reminded of the difference between Black life on campus and white life on campus.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think any opportunity that we had, where we could be together, and relate to each other and connect with each other, we were there.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So those humble beginnings were awesome because you come together. Now, you guys had to figure out, we're going to need some costumes. If we're going to do a dance and present it, how did that all come together? Because I remember, you know, when I first met you guys, you had a couple of things together and you actually did put it together. Who did what? What came together?
Well, that was Jenice. I would say Jenice had all the connections. She, you know, Jenice, I would say, you know, were a great asset because you knew everybody. You knew who to go to get what we needed.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I do remember being the person to connect to Student Afro-American Society to get money for costumes. Were you with me that time we went downtown to South Salina Street to buy fabric?
Yep.
Okay.
See?
But then who made the costume?
That's what I was saying. I thought we made them. I'm, you know, and I'm thinking, did Judy do it? Because my sister, you know, I always relied on my little sister.
Right.
I would bring her up. She was at Adelphi at the time, and she was a music major.
Okay.
And she might have made those costumes. I need to check with her.
And I mean, I know that I had a sewing machine because the reason I remember that is because when we were pledging and we were making something on a sewing machine one night, and we were in my apartment, and I said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I went and took a nap, and you was
oh my God. Wow.
So it's possible that we use that I had my machine there freshman or sophomore year, but I don't remember. I don't remember where this costume. I know we bought the fabric, but I don't know where the costumes came from.
I feel like we made them ourselves.
Yeah.
See, it was great. You went to the community. You knew, okay, we need some fabric. You know, you were putting this together, and somewhere along the line, you created those costumes. Like I remember, and I was telling Kathy, way before the '80s, you guys brought out kente cloth and African patterns, and your performance and script, and I was like, whoa, and that made it even more authentic because you had a history. You know, you brought it together. Then that was cool. I love that. See, you're trying to figure out, well, who did what, you know, what came together. But the bottom line is you did it, and you did not let that stop you. Okay. Let's go back to, you know, you've got everything together, you've done your performance. Did any of you have, like after that, any grand views of what it could be? You know, what would be your next steps? Do you remember any of those thoughts? Like Kathy, honestly, you choreograph stuff, you know, and Jenice, you know, she also has a little bit of dance and had thoughts too. Do you guys ever think about what you thought it would be?
Honestly, I didn't expect anything more than what we were doing. I mean, Jenice and I, we had a lot of fun with it. It was worthwhile. You know, we were very young. And as we matured, like when we went to our senior year, you know, both of you and I in the spring pledged, you know, and the fall semester I had gone abroad. So we just kind of drifted a little bit. No, like I never expected to be here today. And talk about it, you know, and you know, I'm sorry I didn't write things down.
I mean, so Ben, I think I was saying this to you earlier that, and Kathy, this may be part of your memory too, that we were on campus at a time when everything Black was just bubbling up, exploding, right? So we didn't lack for opportunities to perform. There was Black Expressions Week, there was Black History Month, there was Parents Weekend, there was Just Cuz, you know, so we always were dancing. We always had excuses and opportunities to dance. And I'm sure Kathy was creating new dances all, you know, this whole period. And so it wasn't like, it was serendipity, I think. It was just a coming together of things. It wasn't like we had to hunt around and make opportunities for ourselves to dance. And then when Kathy, I don't know if you remember the name of the woman who was Miss Black Syracuse, who became the choreographer. Was it our senior?
You're talking about Vanessa Williams. You're
No,
talking
no,
about.
no.
Oh, no,
I thought, but
Miss Black America. Yeah, she was Miss Black.
Yeah, no. This was another woman. She was Miss Black Syracuse. I can.
she was the local.
The local.
Okay.
Syracuse who
No.
went into the, and I thought it was Karen Mason, but maybe not. I have to check on that.
Yeah, and she became the correct. So that's when the name changed from Third World Dance Troupe to Creations. I think it was our senior year. I think
It had to be 79, 80.
It had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, we were doing our own thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next thing I know, I hear there's a Creations thing.
Right.
And I'm like, why they change their name?
Yeah, right.
You know?
That was the founders of the Third World Dance Troupe. Now, if you didn't know that bit of HERSTORY, you better dance with somebody and then ask them. You just heard the debut episode of FSU, Our History is Here, Creations, with special guests Kathy Jordan and Jenice View, the founders of Third World Dance Troupe, who became Creations. Our journey has just begun, and this is the 70s with more HERSTORY to come. Continue to follow and listen for episode 2, dropping Friday, May 6th. This episode's theme music includes Sense of Purpose by HOLIZNA and Too Shy by Charles Jackson, C-Jack Run Records. The FSU Our History is Here podcast is a creation of Another Ben G Production 2022.